Hi, Mark Jabin here, Medical Director for the Haywood County Health Department, and let's talk about this pandemic. Of the three Haywood County residents who have tested positive for coronavirus, two are now considered recovered. They isolated themselves as recommended, and it's wonderful knowing that each is well. Our thanks to both for protecting us all. So you may be wondering, what does it mean to be recovered? Well, first, here are the criteria for someone who is isolated at home in order to end that isolation. Number one, at least 7 days since symptom onset. Number two, at least 72 hours with no fever, off any medication that would suppress a fever, like Tylenol. And three, improving symptoms. Now, if they have all three, then they're considered recovered and can end their isolation. Now, improved symptoms do not mean no symptoms. So if a person meets these criteria and still, for instance, has a cough, they no longer have to be isolated, but they should continue the basic recommendations: distancing, staying 6 feet apart from others, good hand washing, wearing a mask. They should do this until they are fully well. I hope by now this guidance sounds familiar. So what does their recovery mean for you? First, this is a reminder that most people who get infected will, in fact, recover. Essentially, a recovered person is no different from anyone else. A recovered person does not change the risk you have from exposure in the community or in your house, as long as you follow the guidance. And in fact, they may pose less risk if, having been through the illness, they are now immune. However, that's not fully clear. As of today, only 2.5% of Haywood County residents tested have been positive, and that's a promising sign. But by no means are we out of the woods. It's not yet time to let up on our efforts. It will still take a few more weeks to know the full impact. So for those of you following the guidance, keep it going. You're making a big difference. And for those of us maybe otherwise, well, it's not too late to pitch in. Give it some consideration. What each of us does really does matter. So be well, stay emotionally connected, and physically distant.